Dana White Contender Series. Really excited about this card. This is week 7. Got some really good bettable fights. I think there's action. I think there's action in every single fight as far as a betting perspective. So we're gonna break those down, and we're just gonna get right into it here. And the first fight that we're coming up with is Rafael Tobias and Jair de Oliveira. And at first, you're looking at this and you're like, oh, 13-1 versus 6-0. This must be a great fight. I think Oliveira could be the fighter that just looks terrible in this card. This guy's fought first 4 fights. The opponents had a combined 1-0 record. Then he head kicks this guy. This guy was absolutely atrocious. He looked like he was 100 years old. And then he beats a guy who kind of gave up. This guy looked like he was 100 years old. And honestly, Oliveira maybe 6-0. He doesn't pass the eye test to me. He doesn't look good on the feet. He looks sloppy. He swings really, really wild. There's not a lot of film out on this guy, but you don't need a whole lot of film to just go, wow, this guy's very, very raw. He's fighting Tobias, who is only 22 years old, but he's got 14 professional fights. Again, there's not a lot of film on this guy. He just kind of passes the eye test. He's much taller. He just looks like he's in better shape. I've seen him, take a guy down, get full mount with pretty good position, and get finishes. So this guy's not. I mean, there's not a ton of film on either of these guys, but again, you watch 30 seconds of both of these guys, it's pretty clear who's the better fighter. So I have Tobias. I have him by finish. I don't think he can. I'm not picking KO or submission because I just either way he's gonna get Oliveira out. Oliveira's terrible. That's the breakdown of this fight. Oliveira is terrible. So, he's finished the guy with leg kicks. There was a nice fight where he got mount and finished the guy with some elbows. So Tobias by finish is going to be a pick on that one. Javier Reyes and Justice Torres. My hot take on this fight is I don't think either of these guys are very good. I don't think this fight's going to be very entertaining, and I would be pretty surprised if there was a contract given out. I think this fight goes the distance. That's my best bet on this on this fight. But you look at Reyes, and he gets this rear naked choke, which it was a pretty decent rear naked choke. Before that, he loses in kind of dominant fashion. Like he really was never. I mean, he was kind of competitive, but not really. And he's a striker, but he certainly doesn't fear. You're not fearing him. I mean, this is a guy who got knocked out by Larian Douglas, and we saw Larian last week, I believe, or 2 weeks ago, and Larian just looked incredible. And, Larian's putting this guy out. So Douglas gets a contract. He's UFC ready. I just don't think this Reyes is. I'll tell you why I think Reyes loses, and y'all are going to laugh at me, but if you followed me for any length of period of time, I know what I'm talking about. Justice Torres, more of the same. I don't think he's that dynamic on the feet. Yeah, he's got some finishes, but he finished these last 2 guys because the last 2 guys got tired. Both these guys, it look like mirror images of each other. They take Torres down. They hold him there for the first round. And then the second round, they just get tired. And Torres landed some elbows, landed some punches, but he basically knocked out 2 gassed opponents. Torres fought off submissions and fought off, the top position in the first round, but not that impressive. This is a haircut theory. It drives me nuts. Javier Reyes cannot get his freaking hair to stay still. He's constantly screwing with his hair because he puts it in this weak ponytail, and 3 minutes into the fight, his hair's everywhere, and he's constantly screwing with his hair. He's not paying attention in the fight, and I think at this price, it's Torres or nothing in this one. Again, what do we say about uniforms and hair? If you can't get your uniform or your hair right in a fight, how am I supposed to believe that your game plan is going to be good? So just drives me nuts watching Reyes screw around with his hair in this one. I don't think either of these guys are good. I don't see the upside for any finishes. So the only play is for this thing to go the distance. So, but if you have to pick a side, it's Torres or nothing. Montenegro against I believe it's Chaves. Let me do my time codes here real quick, guys. Sorry. You don't see this very often where a fighter is 5-0 and has fought all fighters who combined do not have a win. I will repeat that. All of her opponents have combined for no wins. Listen, she's not very good. She's very slow on the feet. Her striking is average at best. There isn't really a ground game to speak of. She's very young in her career. How old is she? Yeah, she's 28. So, 28 years old. She just started, professionally fighting a couple of years ago. I don't see any upside in her whatsoever. And you have Montenegro, who is 6-1, and she's at least fought some fighters with a pulse. Eye test. Montenegro just much crisper, much faster with her strikes. The footwork is much better. So I don't think Montenegro is that great. But she may look great here. This would not surprise me in the slightest if she knocked out Chaves. So I could not be lower on this Chaves person. That being said, maybe I'm jumping the gun on Montenegro getting the knockout because I'm not, Montenegro's not exactly a world beater herself, but she's definitely better on the feet, definitely better with the striking. I don't see a whole lot of ground game in this one. So Sofia Montenegro is probably going to be the pick on that one. Zurcher and Magomedov, before you guys are like, oh, Magomedov, he's going to take Zurcher down and he's going to wrestle. No, this is not a Magomedov that wrestles, at least not entirely. Striking defense, not good. He's an exciting fighter, I'll give him that, but man, does he leave himself open and he gets hit a lot. I'll give him credit. He gets himself into a lot of trouble and then he just figures out a way to fight out of it and pulled out this triangle choke out of nowhere. These knees and punches, he was getting rocked in there. So, he deals with adversity really, really well. But I do not like the lack of striking defense. And what's crazy is Zurcher's going to probably be the better wrestler. Zurcher's a Mexican fighter, but the word is he's been training with Khabib. So we haven't seen him in a while. What's interesting, and this is like they've been trying to get him fights on Contender Series. So, he was supposed to fight Gallagher, supposed to fight Alves, and so then they were trying to get him fights at PFL. They fizzle out, and so he comes over to Contender Series. So we really haven't seen this guy in over a year. This was a good win against Ruiz. He's got PFL experience. He's got PFL challenger experience. I think you're going to see Zurcher be the better wrestler. This guy likes the fights to be on the ground, and it's going to be interesting to watch Zurcher take Magomedov down. But I think that's what's going to happen in this one. I know Jim likes this fight to go over 1.5, and what's funny is I like it to not go the distance. A finish in round 3. I don't know what that prop pays, but that kind of checks the boxes for these guys. Again, Magomedov, not great defense. Zurcher's got finishing power and ability. Both these guys are very, very good finishers, but I don't think it happens early. I think these guys are pretty even. So my lean is going to be just this fight not to go the distance. Value-wise, you guys know I hate the word value, but it's Magomedov or nothing because I think this fight's kind of a car crash. And I think the line should be much closer to even. So dog or pass in this one. I'm not betting a side in this one, but fight not to go would be the way that I would play this one. All right, it's $5 Tuesday, as you guys know. And like I said, there's a lot of actionable bets on this card. Easily, there's one that stands out to me. We cashed easy last week, and we're going to repeat that tonight. Got a 4% best bet that's up. I cannot do 5% best bets on Tuesdays because we're not allowed to do 5% on Tuesday, on $5 Tuesday. So that's why this is a 4% and not a 5%. So it's going to be a great card. I think we're going to win a lot of bets, but this one stands out more than the others. So go grab that. It's only $5. It's $5 Tuesday, and I've stuck to my word. Every Tuesday for Contender Series, our $5 Tuesday play is the best bet in Contender Series, and I could not be more excited. So join us in the $5 play, and also don't forget to join us tonight. We are going to be on the Winning in the Shadows YouTube channel where we watch all the fights live, myself and Jim, and live betting is where it's at on Contender Series. We also do the BMF Award for the baddest mofo of the night, and it's just a lot of fun. We take notes on all the fighters that get contracts. That way when they enter UFC, they get their first UFC fight, we've got notes on all of them. I mean, this UFC card on Sunday, there's Cam Rouston, who we already have notes on because we saw him on Contender Series. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of good bets, and it's a lot of good information. So join us on Winning in the Shadows YouTube channel for live Contender Series. All right, let's finish it up with the main event. And I used the phrase car crash earlier. This is a car crash. The under 1.5 is very, very juiced, and for good reason. Yeah, I don't see any world in which this fight goes the distance. So I'm going to butcher this guy's name, so forgive me. Mantas Kondratavicius. Really impressive win last time out. I mean, this TKO of this, he knocked him out. The guy was out on his feet, basically like fell over into Mantas. He's got an armbar win. He did get submitted here for his one loss, and that's where I'm going with this one. The odds are pretty close to even. I think Barbir is minus 130, and that's where I'm going to lean with this one. Mantas is, man, listen, we talked about a couple fights this season where, like, these guys that are just, big knockout artists and submission guys, these lines should be even. There shouldn't be like a minus 200 on some of these fights. We saw it last week. So I'm going to lean Barbir at minus 130, but only because he's got a pretty decent ground game. I've seen him finish guys on the ground. I've seen him get ground and pound. I've seen him get pretty good top control. I've seen him reverse guys. So if Barbir has an advantage, it's definitely in the ground game with this one. But as long as this thing is on his feet, Mantas is definitely live for a knockout. But regardless, I don't think you need to bet aside. I think you just put this fight to not go the distance in your parlays. You can take under 1.5 face-offs. These guys are big boys, man. They're going to come in and do some damage. So you may even take not to start round 2. I don't even know if this thing gets out of the second round. So Barbir will be the lean for me, but this fight has violence written all over it. So, all right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks so much for joining us. Don't forget to get that $5 play, 4% Contender Series best bet that is up at WagerTalk.com. You can get there faster with WT.buzz/AL, coming off a big win in Contender Series last week on our $5 play and looking to do it again tonight. And join us, Winning in the Shadows YouTube channel, and please hit the like button and leave us a comment below. Tell us what your favorite bet is. Good luck on your plays, and we'll see everyone tonight.